It's Saturday morning, that can only mean one thing. It's time yet again for Q&A, Saturday Q&A, episode number 49. Look, I wasn't here last week, and the reason was, and a lot of people asked me what happened, I went to England for a week to see my son play in his band, which you might have seen a couple of clips which I've already put online. He didn't know I was coming. It was a great day. In fact, it was a great week. Here in France at the moment, no, it's windy, it's miserable, it's grey, it's horrible. And that's just the weather. How I am is irrelevant. First question goes to Big Bill, and he says, do fish get thirsty? Well, that's an interesting one, that, you know. Because most of the time, because they've only got a memory span of about 3 minutes, and they go around looking for Bob, you know, going, Bob. Anyway, they come round and say, what's your name? He said, Bob. Goes around again, and he says, who are you? Goldfish. That's the thing. But anyway, no. Well, they don't get thirsty, but interestingly enough, saltwater fish drink all the time because they've got so much salt, you see, and they need to wash it away because it's very salty. But goldfish and other fish in freshwater fish, they absorb water through their skin. So they don't get thirsty, not a lot anyway. Paul's Country said, since you're a skilled race car driver, have you ever fantasised about running from the police in a high-speed chase? Well, when I was a teenager, Paul, I know I've alluded to this before, on my motorbike, and the cops chased me lots and lots of times. They never caught me. And but in a car, no, I can imagine being something like Dukes of Hazzard. I would love that. I could see that Nick Duke. Oh, that would be real fun. Yeah, I could imagine that. But I think some of the training the cops get nowadays is a bit different. And, you know, it was sport back in the day, but nowadays I think they've got the upper hand. A mate of mine years ago, John the Bandit, funnily enough, he turned up at my house on his motorbike. He comes, and I was actually in the garage working on my race car at the time. And he comes steaming down my little drive, and he rode straight into my garage, closed the door down. I said, what's up? He said, the cops are after me. And there's the old cops goes past the house. And then a couple of minutes later, there's a chopper out looking for him. Oh, boy, he was a character. Oh, wonderful, wonderful guy. Emigrated to Canada, funnily enough, and I believe he's back in England now. I haven't spoken to him or seen him for years now. Ever such a nice bloke. Evil White Clown Punk said, why did you go to England? I've already said that one. What city you ain't already seen? Weirdly enough, there's an awful lot of England I haven't seen. I've seen more of Australia than I have in England. I've never been to the north of England. I'm not interested. Been to a bit of the west coast, bit of Wales. That's not really England, is it? Hardly seen any of England. So, did you go to Grace Brothers? No, I didn't go to Grace Brothers. Do you know, my mum used to work in a department store like that, and she used to work in women's outfitting. So I guess she was the real Mrs. Slocum, but she didn't have the different coloured hair. And funnily enough, my dad years ago, he worked in gents outfittings in the same department store, which was Cheeseman's in Maidstone. It's all closed up nowadays. And I suppose if he answered the phone, did he go, menswear? I'd like to ask him. But impossible now. Well, without a medium. I missed one. Did you go to Anderton's? No, I've still never been there. And weirdly enough, I was actually in Brighton for one day. I should have gone in there. I just never thought about it. Was there a man on the wing? There was nobody on that plane wing. No. Did you pass any alien spaceships during the flight? Only ones that were singing ABBA songs. Yeah, you just imagine that. Take a chance on me. Take a chance, I'll tell you what. Yeah, the plane on the way home, it should have delivered us nicely to Limoges Airport, and instead it delivered us to Bordeaux. And that was a 3-hour coach ride from Bordeaux to Limoges, where our car was, because it was all fogged in and snowed in and what have you. And it was an intriguing drive home, I can tell you that. That was you couldn't see bugger all. Couldn't see what you're going to crash into. I suppose that's a good thing. Eric C says, how many wigs do you have? 8. I have 8 wigs. This is my real hair. No, it's not. 8 wigs. I want to get some more. I want some more sparkly ones. Rick Ramanelli says, have you any plans for a father and son gig? Could be called Falling Down Right. No cross-dressing though. That might be weird. Yeah, I've never seen my son in a dress. I'm going to phone him up later. I'll send him a text and say, take a picture of yourself in a dress. Just see what happens there. He's nuts enough to do it. Good boy. No plans for me to play on stage with him at the moment. I have played on stage with him a few times over the years. For bits and pieces. Yeah, I mean, I really love to do some more work with him on stage because he's such a bloody good bassist and good vocalist, and he really plays well. Excuse me, cup of tea. Excuse me, blimey. For the next Q&A, what's the craziest place you've ever been? Pete the Courier Driver, because I don't know if you follow him, goes to weird places, aircraft hangars, all sorts of places. Brain's gone at the moment. And he said, what's the weirdest place, the craziest place you've ever been? And why no Q&A? Well, we did that last week, so we've already done that bit. The weirdest place for work, it has to be Ministry of Defence soundproof room. And that was weird. I was doing a lighting design in there, and when they closed the door in this in this soundproof room, you couldn't hear anything. It was like, whoa, and it actually knocked you off balance because there was no reverberation to your own voice or to anybody else's voice. It was weird. It was really weird. And in non-work, in personal life, where's the weirdest place? 200 foot down in a mine, a disused gold mine in Kalgoorlie, Australia, which was unbelievable because you had to go down this like spiral staircase, which went on forever. I mean, when I say spiral staircase, I don't mean this beautifully wooden structure. This was just an old metal industrial thing, and you go down into the mine and you go along the mine shafts and stuff, and it was incredible. It was just unbelievable. And when they turned the lights out, because they were going to turn the lights out there, son, see what you can see, and you turn the lights out and it's so dark. And if you've ever been claustrophobic in your life, oh boy, you want to feel like you're at the somewhere in a mine, in the pitch dark, and I mean dark. You couldn't see a thing. That's the weirdest place I've been. And I paid for that, bro. Screaming anonymity commented. So time travel is possible. Yes, because it's in 2016. Well, that was what was on my camera. I don't know why the battery hasn't been in it for a couple of years, I suppose, and it just sort of it didn't sort of move on. Yeah. He said, I hope I had a good New Year. Yeah, I had a great New Year. And I can't believe it. We're in February already. I mean, where is it going? February? It can't be. Mad dog. PM some lotto numbers for him. Yeah, if I make it back to 2016, if I develop a flux capacitor, yes, I of course I will, my friend. No worries on that. Bass Hiroshima Nick says, I was wondering what happened to you. Did you have a good time back in England? Yep. Saturday's Q&A question, how long has your son's band been together? Well, Dan joined them when he was a teenager, and he's 37 now, so he's about 20 years, although he did have some time off for good behaviour. He left some years ago, and he had a few years off with, getting married and family, and goodness knows what else happens. But now he's back with them. He's been back with them for a while now, and it's fantastic, and it really is. So they've been together. Well, Dan joined them. It's weird. That must have been 20 years ago. So he's only a teenager. Oh, God, doesn't seem possible. Jeff Underwood said, did Gary Moore write that song, which was Walking By Myself, which my son's band was doing? Or is it older than that? Well, it was actually written by Jimmy Rogers in 1956, although most people think that it was written by Gary Moore. No, he didn't write it, but a brilliant song, and I don't think I've ever done it myself, and I think that's one of those things I'm going to put through. Anyway, thank you to all the new subscribers and all the old subscribers and everybody that watches this complete and utter rubbish that I put on every week, and thank you very much. And next week is the big 50. It's the Rick Romanelli episode, because he's 50. Happy birthday, Rick, for last week. Have a good time, everybody. Until next week, this is me signing off and saying, horns up. This is my real hair, isn't it? What do you mean it's a wig? Oh.